That's the difference between you and Bruce Wayne. I found your performance to be wooden and unrealistic. Welcome to Legends of Gotham, where we talk about Fox's hit series Gotham set in the world of Batman. I'm Bill Meeks.
And I'm Anne-Marie DeSimone.
How are you doing tonight, Anne-Marie?
I would be a little better if you'd give me a window.
Oh, okay.
But I'm good otherwise.
You can't. You want to see yourself?
I would like to see what the show looks like tonight, but I wasn't going to ask.
I guess. But you know what? Not only do you want to see yourself, not only do I want to see myself, but you know who else wants to see us?
All of the peoples.
All of our chatters over
Hi.
at twitch.tv/universebox, which right now we just have Lone Wolf Pack
and Talking to We.
But people generally tend to filter in there a little bit more as we're going along. We do broadcast this live Tuesday nights, 8:30 p.m. EST at twitch.tv/universebox, as I said. But you know, we're barreling along here. This, I would like to mention, is our 98th episode.
Yes, 98. We're getting old.
Which means we're very, very close to episode, 100?
I hear that 100 is close to 98.
I hear 100 is very, very lucky.
You think it's lucky?
Yeah, definitely. Also, we have a Carolyn Wells in the chat
Carolyn
room.
Swells.
Or
Carolyn Wells, because
Carolyn
she is...
Wells or Carolyn Swells.
It's Carolyn Wells from Gotham Addicts. Hello.
Okay. Hello, Carolyn. Nice to see you here. Sorry, my microphone's acting a little funny. This board is kind of junk. We're going to probably have to replace it at some point. But no, we're here to talk Gotham.
Yes,
as we always
Gotham,
are.
That's what we do.
And so, you know what? Enough with this preamble. Enough with this, poppycock, I'd like to say. Why don't we go ahead and get started talking about this week's episode 17, Season 3. And Anne-Marie, as usual, why don't you go ahead and start us off with the riddling, rhyming episode summary.
What is the riddle Ed couldn't solve? The group around which all of Gotham revolves. Will Pengy Plants assemble the freaks? They find fire and ice in their very first week. Will Jim fool the court? Who even knows? What if all Alfred knows of Bruce Wayne is his clothes? If Babs ain't on top, will she settle for the middle? The owls are endangered in the Primal Riddle.
The Primal Riddle. Anne-Marie, what'd you think? A very theatrical episode.
I love all the theater.
You know, I will...
The theater geek in me just kept going, Hamlet, they're doing Hamlet.
I will say that Ed's sort of theatricality in this episode brought me back to a lot of our discussions about Fish Mooney in season 1 and about how she was very forward facing and Brechtian in her performance. You could definitely see Ed sort of growing into that in this one here, which was great. I really loved it.
It was fun.
Definitely. Definitely. And we did find out the answer to be or not to be. Not to be.
He was not to be.
But you know what? Before we move into the main discussion, I think we should play a little thing here. We got this posted to our Facebook group over at facebook.com/groups/Legends of Gotham. And Anne-Marie, why don't you tell them a little bit?
Sure. We got this video from Yasmin Shelton. It's called Penguin's Lullaby. First, she sent it to us just like the lyrics, and then she recorded this beautiful video and song. So take it away.
Yeah, and we will have the links to both the video and the lyrics in our show notes at legendsofgotham.com for this episode number 98. But for now, take it away, Yasmin.
Fire has gone out on the snow from above, but nothing will warm me more than my mother's love. I light another candle, dry the tears from my face. Nothing can protect me more than my mother's warm embrace. The path ahead is dark, so dark I cannot see, but I will not fear, 'cause my mother looks over me.
Yay! 1 second, I'm arranging a special guest for just a moment in this episode.
Are you? Okay, I'm just going to keep clapping. Yay! That was fantastic.
Yes, but no, that was great. And as I said, we'll have the links to both the video, the video and the lyrics over at legendsofgotham.com. But thank you so much.
Thank you, Yasmin.
We absolutely loved Penguin's Lullaby. I'm sorry, folks. Hold on. Let me pause the recording here. My microphone is still acting all funny. But don't worry, we have a really good guest tonight. So
Do we?
Yeah. Once we get this all cleared up and everything with the audio here, we should be good to go. Okay. Hopefully that will be about it. Good times. Sorry about that,
Good
folks.
times, great oldies.
Okay, let me go ahead and start up the recording again.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Hopefully my mic issues have been put to rest. But now that we've listened to Yasmin's wonderful song, I guess it's time to get into the main discussion for this episode.
Yes.
And my first point, shut up, Jim.
Oh, Jim.
Shut up, Jim.
Just shut up, Jim.
Jim is very, very, very unwise in his speaking in this episode. Now, while Jim has accomplished his goal by infiltrating the court, I found myself getting angry with him. You probably couldn't tell.
No, not at all.
Throughout the episode. As Mayor James says in this episode, the court are like gods. They see and hear everything. So why is Jim so cavalier when talking about the court to Harvey?
Yeah.
For one, the police chief's office seems like the first place the court would want to place a bug in.
I'm sure it's been bugged for years.
Yeah, and then there's issues where he's dropping knowledge about the court over the phone, which I mean,
everywhere. That's
I'm
dumb.
sure the court has the phones tapped in Gotham.
I'm pretty sure there's high schoolers who can have your phones tapped. So I'm sure the court's had it.
And Karen Swells over in the chat room says, I got more angry with Lee. Fair enough. I kind of did too.
I don't have the energy to get into that fight, but Lee, go on vacation.
Yeah, I wrote back off Lee once in my notes. But I kind of feel like the court might already know that Jim is planning on betraying them, but is using him for another purpose because he hasn't been careful about it at all. So if they don't know, then the court is far less powerful than we currently think.
Yeah.
So I kind of, like I said, I kind of feel like they know because Catherine says that after the cleansing of Gotham, that good men like you, Jim, will need to hold it or Gotham together. So I think that perhaps the court knows, but they don't care because they know they're going to need him. So my theory is that the court, before disappearing back behind the curtain at the end of this season, will help install Jim as police commissioner so he can save Gotham.
The commish!
So he can hold it together.
Okay.
And then once he's in, they'll leave Gotham to him for a while, knowing they can pull his strings when they need to. Because they have leverage against him. They have a history with him. So I think they're going to put him in a position of power, then just slowly sink back into the shadows, since they almost got exposed this episode by Ed.
Yeah, they did.
I like I said, towards the end of the season, I predict they're going to fall back into the shadows, and then they'll be ready to reemerge once Bruce becomes Batman again. So,
okay.
Let's see. Win, talking to we in the chat room, says, in that office scene with Jim and Gordon, did anyone else's TV broadcast have messed up audio? I didn't know if that was an audio cue for it being bugged or a TV glitch. I didn't catch that.
I think it might have been your TV. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it very possibly could have. You need to get.
Was it storming? Because you seem to have issues when it's storming.
You need to get longer rabbit ears. Is what you need to do. But any thoughts on that? Did you think that Jim was too loud, too proud?
I didn't think about it until you mentioned it, but he does seem just very, very chill talking. He's very comfortable talking about the court anywhere and everywhere, which is dumb. And it feels a little weird the way that you say that, maybe they don't care as much because they're setting him up to put things back together. But I don't know. It feels a little off.
Yeah.
It makes sense, but would they want somebody who was so casual about their existence to be a representative of the court?
Yeah, very, very
so
true.
There's that. That's my concern with that.
I also get the feeling that Ed is probably not a resource like they claimed he was going to be. I have a feeling they're upset that he exposed them and that something bad's going to go down with Ed next episode.
I taught my children today, what goes around comes around.
Yes.
You be nice to people, people will be nice to you. Ed has not been so nice to the people.
No.
Ed's going to get his comeuppance.
Definitely.
He's getting the comeuppance.
One other thing that kind of stuck out to me, speaking of the last scene with Jim finally joining the court.
Yeah, that was awkward.
Why do they all wear masks if they all know each other's real names?
Do you know? Really?
I don't even know.
Yeah, I'm curious.
Me too.
I'm very curious. I would like to know who else is in the court.
I'm curious and I'm spurious.
Spurious?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Lone Wolf Pack 04 in the chat room says, I think Jim was just being Jim, LOL. Very true. He's not the smartest cookie in the shed.
In the shed?
Who
eats the cookies in the shed?
Cookies in a shed?
Oh my goodness.
Who keeps cookies in a shed?
Is there something in your tea?
And then Lone Wolf Pack also says, but it has to come back to face Oswald. They can't build up to, for nothing.
Oh, they're not.
And then Carolyn Swell says, I think if Jim regards the court in that haphazard manner, it takes away a lot of the grandeur of the court. Almost like saying, screw you. I can definitely see that.
Yes.
And that's something that should only be said by Fish Mooney Bitch, who hopefully will be back this season.
Fish Mooney Bitch.
Okay.
Jada made it okay.
So, Anne-Marie, what's your top point here? It probably has something to do with the Riddler, doesn't it?
Yes, the Riddler's over-the-top performances with every time he spoke. So when Nigma was at the GCPD, he tended to stay a bit below the radar. Like, he made his presence known by agitating Harvey and everyone with his riddles, but he wasn't big and loud. He was able to, slink away a little. Now the man wants the whole world to know his face, his Riddler, how he does things. He wants everybody to know all of the things. And that's just a really, really serious personality change.
Yeah.
And I'm a little concerned.
Well, now that he knows who he is, he wants everybody else to know too.
Right. It's just, I feel like the deaths of Miss Kringle and Isabella have left him a little confused. And now he's starting to know who he is. So that's good.
I did like that they kind of changed up his comic book motivation a little bit for the riddles, because the riddles in the comic books, it's a compulsion. Like, he has to do it, because he wants to be caught almost.
Okay.
Where in this series, it seems like he's using the riddles because he wants to make everyone else look dumber than he is and make himself look. I mean, he knows he's smart, but he wants to lift himself up and look smarter than everybody else by making everybody else look like fools because of these riddles.
Okay, I can see that. However, my big question is to what is the man's end game? Like, everybody else has this clear motivation, and his was just finding himself. And that's just a little weird. Like, he doesn't seem concerned about being the king of Gotham. Like, he doesn't want to be the king of the underworld. That's very clear. Otherwise, he wouldn't be helping said Barbara up for that. Kind of, sort of, not really. He's just about pleasing himself. So if this is the case, why did he rob 3 banks in one night? His little hidey hole is full of all sorts of awesomeness, and I would like to go shopping in there. But all of the, who runs Gotham craziness makes sense, but not the robbing 3 banks in one night. They don't feel like the same character in a sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I get you want people to know who you are, but why? However, much applause to his interruption of Hamlet. That was beautifully done. And you know what? When you're on stage, everything has to be big.
At first, I was thinking there might be some sort of significance for him stepping in for Hamlet's father. Like, maybe this will tie back into the episode or something. Like, Jim will see the ghost of his dad or something like that.
See, and that would have made so much sense.
Which has happened in the past, but it didn't happen in this episode.
Not in this episode, no.
Although I will say that, if he didn't have a motivation going into this episode besides just getting his name out there, as soon as Babs shows up, he gets it because he's like, oh, wait a second, that's right, the riddle I never solved.
Right. So. But that's the thing. The part that was confusing was before that. It was what was he doing? Biding his time, robbing banks? That doesn't actually seem in character.
He was just building up some reserves,
I guess.
His hideout, though, looked very, very much like a classic 60s Batman villain hideout.
Piles of money.
I think it was even shot at a Dutch angle.
And pictures. Yeah.
So it was good. Let's
fun.
see. Carolyn in the chat room says he doesn't tell riddles on purpose all the time. They're like Tetch in his rhymes. They're nervous, compulsive behavior that they don't know how to express their real thoughts. I think that definitely sometimes that's the case, and especially with Ed in the early seasons it was. But I think now he's being very deliberate with them, and he's telling very clever riddles that Jim's going to feel smart solving, but they're going to lead him down the road where Ed wants him to go.
Yeah.
And what did Lone Wolf Pack say?
Lone Wolf Pack says he wants to be more he wants to be more famous than Penguin. I think he has all of the Oswald issues. I don't know. Maybe his motivation is just to be the king of the underworld in Gotham. Caroline says No matter what interpretation of the Riddler you may or may not know, I know none of them. They all have some sort of air of pompous and arrogance, and I think Corey Michael Smith captured that greatly. Corey Michael Smith is doing a phenomenal job, like
Oh,
in
for
any aspect, like, and it's just hilarious because he's so different from the character. Like, I enjoy his gift storms while we're live tweeting, but anyway.
Yeah,
So who knows?
Corey Michael Smith is a constant highlight of Gotham. Like,
Yes.
all 3 seasons, really. Okay, so I have a point here, and this involves our special guest. I want to talk a little bit about the all-new Firefly. Now, if you didn't notice, Firefly is now played by an actress named Camila Perez, who's replacing Michelle
Ventimiglia.
Yeah, and so that's who played Firefly in the long ago, and I'm guessing she probably had a commitment or something.
I'm sure.
So she got replaced by Camilla for this season.
Man,
and,
you're good because you called it, and I was like, no, it's the same person. I was wrong.
But a little piece of trivia: Camilla is also on the Hulu's The Path with Renee Montoya herself, Victoria
Cartagena. You can't pronounce last names at all.
No, I try not to pronounce it just in case I mispronounce it, so that way I.
So then it's on me.
Yeah, then it's on you.
Thanks.
But another little trivia fact about Camilla, she just DM'd me a couple minutes ago on Twitter and
Victoria or Camila?
Camilla.
Oh, yay!
And let me know that she sent a voicemail, but she got cut off. I told her to go ahead and call back in and finish up if she wanted to. She might not get the DM, so I think we're just going to play this as is. So this is the new Firefly.
Yay, new Firefly!
Thank you for calling in, and let's play your voicemail.
Hi, my name is Camila Perez. I'm currently playing Firefly on season 3 of Gotham. I saw your tweet and you asked me how it was to portray a pre-existing character on the show. Well, it's actually very exciting and nerve-wracking at the same time. I auditioned for the part when it first came out. I think it was two and a half years ago. I never heard back from casting. I never even made it to the second round. I literally just showed up and never heard back. I was pretty bummed out because I'm a fan of the show and I'm a fan of Bridget Pike. So yeah, it was pretty upsetting at the time, but I was very excited to hear that Michelle got to play the part. Not only because she's Latina, but she's also a woman, since it was originally written for a guy. That's true. 2 years later, I get a casting from my agent for Gotham, but the casting call wasn't for Firefly. It was for a character named Joanna. I think that was the name. It was a random name. And I prepared the part. I was in Colombia at the time. That's where I'm from, on vacation. And I prepared my character on my way here. I landed and I went straight to casting. And I literally just played it as Joanna, how it was on the script. And I never heard back till a week after, and I hear a call from my agent saying, "Oh, you got the part." And I said, "What part?" "Oh, Gotham." And I'm like, "Wait, what? Do I have a callback? Do I have to meet the producers?" No, you went straight to the show. I'm like freaking out. And they scheduled a fitting the week after. They announced that I was a new member of the cast, and I showed up thinking I'm going to have this cool costume or whatever, because Gotham has the best costumes, I think, on television. I showed up and I'm waiting for the person who was in charge of the costume department, and I see wings, and then I see the Firefly suit, and I'm thinking, oh, that's awesome, that's Firefly's costume. And then they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna try it on, blah blah blah. And I'm like, wait, what? They're like, yeah, you're playing Firefly. I'm like, what? I literally started freaking out. I'm confused. I'm like, well, what about Michelle? And yeah, so that was pretty exciting. That was a very surreal moment for me. But once I got to set, everything pretty much was really smooth. The whole cast was unbelievable. They were so nice to me. It was a great experience. And although I was very nervous, especially to play such an iconic role as Firefly, especially after Michelle's performance.
Oh, and that's where we got cut off. No,
That's
but
awesome.
Here, I'm going to refresh this page just one more time here.
That
just
is so
to see if she got
cool.
in with the continuation. But that's a
That
really
would
good
so
story.
be me. Like the memo just doesn't quite get to you what your role is. You're just like, I'm on set. Just tell me what to do. That's so cool. Well, welcome to the show, Camilla.
Yeah, we can't wait.
Call
to
in
see,
anytime.
Yeah, definitely feel free to call in anytime. And we can't wait to see your
Performance.
your performance as it continues on Gotham with the Army of Freaks and everything. I let's see if I can pull up her Twitter here. We'll have it in the show notes too.
Do you want me to pull it
But
up?
she only has like 63 followers. We need to fix that.
Inappropriate. Party of one. We've got this.
Yeah, let's see. It's at K-A or C.
Put it in the chat room.
It's at CAMIPEREZTO. So
It'll be in the show notes.
Yeah,
and
it'll be
such.
in the show notes too. We also retweeted it from our Legends of Gotham account a little bit ago, or
Good to know.
retweeted her. But no, that's a great story. The one thing
Yay.
she said that I thought was kind of interesting was that she mentions that the role of Firefly was written for a guy. Now I know
I think isn't the original character
the
is a
original
guy.
character is a guy. I don't know if she meant that.
I think that.
Or if she meant that it was originally written on Gotham for a guy, and then when Michelle tried out for it, that they decided to go ahead and go in a different direction. I mean, that's a possibility too.
That is very
Although
true.
I guess her original
Well,
story
now I
was
want to
more-
know who Joanna is.
Yeah.
Who is Joanna? Have I missed something?
Well, I think a lot of times in the audition process, they'll do like fake sides
Well, yeah.
with fake characters and stuff like that, so they don't give away any plot points. So that could have been it, or maybe there was a Joanna.
Maybe
not
there
thinking
is
of.
a Joanna that we don't know yet.
Yet to come.
We still have like 4 episodes, 5 episodes.
Definitely, but I thought back to her appearance in this episode.
Yes.
I thought it was interesting that she apparently forgot the story that Dr. Hugo Strange gave her in Indian Hill. I know there are a few monsters left. Rather, more on that in a moment. But I wonder if they all forgot their stories. Any monsters who were left that Hugo sort of gave a story to. I wonder if they've all forgotten.
Why would they have forgot them?
I don't know. She did. Because she says that, he had me convinced I was this goddess and fire, but I got over that and I started working at this smelting plant or whatever.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, so I wonder how long does Strange's manipulation, hypnotism thing last? And is it something that he'll be able to unlock once he decides to reappear? Like maybe he shows back up, Penguin sends his army of freaks after Hugo Strange.
All 2 of them.
And then Hugo Strange is just like, Firefly, you're weird and crazy again. So
I don't feel like that would work. I think it has something to do with the whole Indian Hill location and the immersion in that type of an environment.
Yeah.
Well, and because Freeze never really latched onto his story and stuff. He always retained his prior knowledge thing.
Yeah, well, I don't think did they ever even give him a story? I think they were just
I'm sure they were trying to.
No, because he had the technology to bring people back to life. So
Yeah,
they were
that's
just
true.
like, hey, listen to your emo music and give us your secrets.
I did love his music. But Selena was already trying to help her remember what was going on before she left. So
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I was just going to say, speaking of Mr. Freeze, I loved his line to Firefly, maybe you need to cool off, because it was very Arnold Schwarzenegger, Mr. Freeze. Maybe you'll need to cool off. So that was a lot of fun. For sure. You want to read this little bit about the Riddler from Lone Wolf Pack over in the chat room?
Sure. Okay, my only comparison of Riddler I have is to Jim Carrey's. And they were both over the top, so to me it fits. Jim Carrey also started off very quiet and reserved. I've never pictured that in my life. Until he became the Riddler as well. His end game was to expose Batman. However, in this case, we don't have a Batman to expose. So I'm not sure who or what is filling that void on Gotham.
Well, I guess Lone Wolf Pack agrees with you then that, the Riddler doesn't have a super clear motivation right now.
There's not much of a motivation. No. Yeah. So there is that.
But yeah, I love hearing from the cast and crew of Gotham.
I
so
do.
That's always fun.
I do love the cast.
But now it's time to hear about the freaks.
The freaks. Okay, first and foremost, she called him Pengy. That's us. That's all us. Nobody called him Pengy
we
until we
invented
called him
calling Penguin
Pengy Pants.
So
shortened to Pengy.
You're
of
welcome,
course.
Gotham TV
so
writers.
Gotham TV writers, where's the check?
We know you guys sent out a bunch of Gotham swag to some YouTubers a few weeks back. Send it to us.
Seriously? They send stuff to
We
you?
came up with Pengy Pants.
We're YouTubers.
Yeah.
We're podcasters. You love us.
Send it over.
We like swag.
Or don't. That's fine too.
I like swag. So the freaks. Ivy, Penguin, Freeze, and Firefly is a pretty weak crew in general because it's only 4 people. Like, even as freaks, 4 people is not very scary.
Yeah.
Oh, apparently I'm getting toys. So, we know that a lot more freaks escaped from Indian Hill. Were they destroyed? Have your coffee? No, like, there was a lot more. So, I know that Freeze said that they were driven out of town because through his political run for mayor. But I wonder where exactly they are and if they're functional freaks.
Well,
or
I know
not
Jim
functional
apprehended
freaks.
a lot of him in that time period
that's
between
right.
seasons when he was sort of the bounty hunter.
That's true. Okay,
but
so
I don't
that
know how
helps.
many he killed, how many he apprehended, where they went,
Right.
who they were.
Okay, well, here are some other thoughts on how I think they're going to make the army of freaks grow. Selena is totally going to be full-on Catwoman after the way that the episode ended.
Oh, for sure.
So I'm
And
pretty
she'll
sure.
go with them because Ivy's there.
And that was going to be my thing, is she actually has a really close connection with 3 out of 4 of them because she's worked for Penguin.
She has.
She was friends with Firefly growing up.
And Ivy.
And Ivy. So I think it's not going to take too much for her to get on board, and it may help her develop her Catwoman-ness.
Her Catwoman-like qualities.
Right. Maybe Ivy will have some catnip or something for her to use in some way, shape, or form. Another thing, Fish and Strange. So we know that they're coming back eventually. And if they wait until the last 5 minutes of the finale, I may have to send an evil email to Fox. But this is a perfect opportunity for them to come back and for the freaks to grow. I think that they have been working on perfecting the science behind the regeneration and power creation behind the scenes. And whether they are joining forces or taking over the army of freaks is left to be, still the question. My money, however, is on taking over. I think they'll sort of pull a Jim with the court thing, be like, oh yeah, we're in with you, and it's ours now. Something like that, because Penguin can't win.
Yeah,
Penguin can't win.
Let's see. Over in the chat room, Carolyn says, I heard that Selena was going to be closer to Tabitha, which is interesting.
Well, Tabby Cat.
Yeah.
Well,
and
what
then
is her character like Tabby? It was.
Oh, it's
because we called her. I mean, she was
Wildfire.
No.
Tire. The
Tigress.
Tigress. There we go.
Okay, so Tigress and Catwoman does make sense.
The tire.
Yeah, she's the tire.
Yeah.
Put it on her car.
Tabby the tire.
Tabby the tire.
And JG Love says over in the chat room, maybe they'll recruit more freaks in the next episode before the war. I almost guarantee you that's going to be their arc for the next 2 episodes, or this episode, maybe another episode after that. And then they'll have the whole army of freaks. And Carolyn also says the Tigress could be a huge inspiration to making a Catwoman. Yeah, she does use the whip. She does have that seductress thing going on.
Yeah.
That S&M kind of thing the Catwoman gets into it. But we're going to talk more about
Lots
Selena
whips
and
in
Catwoman
this
later. But let's see here. Okay, so we're going to get back to the main discussion. Just a moment. But first, I guess it's time to look at this Joker.
Look at this Joker. Look at this Joker. Look at this Joker. Look at this Joker. Look at this Joker. Look at this Joker. Look at this Joker.
No, Joker. Yes, look at this Joker when we call out the subtle references, the outright appearances, etc., of the Joker on Gotham. We've been doing it since season 01, episode 1.
Season 01.
Season 01, episode 01, the pilot, with the awkward comedian and Fishes and Laszlo. Who could forget Laszlo?
Oh, Laszlo.
And we've had so many theories. Obviously
many.
Jerome eventually showed up, and it kind of blew a lot of our theories out of the water.
Shot it out of the water.
Then we saw a lot of this Joker graffiti everywhere. But we haven't done this in a few weeks since Jerome's 3-part story.
His January story, yeah.
But I did catch something in this week's episode that I thought was worth pointing out.
Okay.
And that's when Babs is coming back into the club at the end and she's all upset and there's the band playing on stage. You'll never guess the song that was playing in Sirens when she came back in.
What was it called?
It's called Love Like Blood, and it's by a band called The Killing Joke.
The Killing Joke. I feel like I've heard of that before.
Yeah,
Bill, tell me more.
That is a reference to the Alan Moore story from the 1980s in which Batgirl becomes paralyzed and Jim Gordon becomes naked.
Oh, wait. We reviewed that earlier in the last year on this show.
Yes, we did. But if you want to go over to legendsofgotham.com and click on Look at This Joker, look under, for this episode, Season 3, Episode 17, The Primal Riddle. And we have a link to the original video for Love Like Blood. So you can go ahead and check that out if you want to.
That's fun.
Yeah, definitely. I thought it was so fun. I thought it was fun enough to go ahead and take some extra minutes and throw in there.
Excellent.
Okay, and we're not going to do a full Patreon read because, as we've mentioned a couple times,
this is our last season.
After this season's done, we're going to be closing up shop. But we do want to give a shout out to our $5 star patrons, which are those of you who loved us enough to give us $5 a month. That's Becca Baca, Harry Seidler, Angel, Monica Jones, Other Anne Marie, Casa Commotion, Sage of Earth, a.k.a. Patty, Jacob Newman, Robert Cattler, Hope Molinax, Jessica Gonzalez, and Patrick Cohen. We love you guys so much. Thank you guys for supporting us. Not just this month, but a lot of these people for the past couple of years. We definitely appreciate it. And if you want to buy us a beer or something like that,
yes,
you can go ahead patreon.com/universebox.
You can come over and have a beer.
Yeah, because I think we're gonna get the money from June and then we're shutting it down. So if you want to buy us a beer, just go patreon.com/universebox.
Dude, that last episode's gonna be insane.
And to remember to think outside.
Think outside.
Think outside.
Think outside.
Okay, anything fun over here in the chat room?
I wonder if that could be a reference to Barbara's namesake.
Batbara's namesake.
Well, she corrected it.
Yeah. I like Batbara.
However, Batbra is kind of a Batbra.
Good stuff.
We can sing anything.
Okay, but
no, but that I like that though, because it was the Killing Joke, which was Barbara Gordon's thing.
Yeah.
And it was Barbara who came in during, Gotham TV writers know what they're up to.
And a lot of people were theorizing that Barbara was going to be Batgirl's mom,
Yeah, way back in season 1.
Way back in season 1 before she went
Cuckoo Bananas.
Yeah.
Cuckoo Bananas.
Which, by the way, I have some really good Babs notes coming up in a little bit. But
which is fun because you don't usually.
But first I wanted to talk a little bit about Selena. Selena's crushed, if you didn't notice. Now, Selena, not just crushed against the ground, but she has a crush, and it became very obvious in this episode. Now, she's been going on and on the past few episodes. Bruce, leave me alone. Go away, Bruce. Don't talk to me, Bruce. She wants nothing to do with Bruce Wayne any longer because of how things shook out with Bruce and her mom and all that whole situation. But she sort of betrays that when she's talking to Yanni Bruce in this episode. Yanni Bruce, if you don't know, is what we call the clone Bruce.
Yeah, he will forever be Yanni Bruce.
Yanni Bruce. But as soon as she catches on that Yanni Bruce has been pretending to be the real Bruce, she flips into this sort of protective mode. She even says that she's going to run off to Alfred, who punched her, and she doesn't like very much. No, I think, or was it slapped?
He slapped her across the face.
I just know there was some child abuse.
There was child abuse, yeah.
But she's going to run to him to let him know, even though she doesn't like him that much, which is not something you'd expect from someone who doesn't even care about Bruce Wayne. She even admits that she has a high opinion of Bruce and his moral fiber, despite their falling out. She says to Yanni Bruce, after he says that, I came here, you're the one person in Gotham I want to save. She says, that's the difference between you and Bruce Wayne. He would try to save everybody.
Yep.
Why can't you be more like you, Bruce Wayne?
Why can't you be like real Bruce? Yanni.
But, over in the chat room, Carolyn says she calls the clone Deuce.
Nice.
Deuce Wayne. Nice.
Deuce Wayne.
But, so not only does Selena still have this crush, this pining over Bruce Wayne, but she also gets crushed against the ground when Yanni Bruce very surprisingly shoves her out a window. Now, I wonder, though, what will she be like after getting attacked by all those carnivorous cats?
They weren't really attacking her. They were licking her wounds.
Have you ever seen a news story about a dead body in an apartment with cats and what happens to it?
Well, I mean, that's over time.
There's even a joke, a dog will sit there by your side and die with you days later, waiting for you to wake up, where a cat will just completely devour you and not even care.
I love cats.
Because cats are so cruel.
I love cats.
But I'm wondering, after she goes through, obviously this transformation that's coming up, what's she going to be like? Is she going to have any feelings left for Bruce? Or will she emerge as a proto Catwoman who flirts with everybody to accomplish her goals. Because that's one thing about the Catwoman character. She uses her sexuality to sort of manipulate people and get what she wants and get out of trouble a lot of times too, including Batman.
Jay Glove in the chat room points out that the fall out of the window might be karma catching up with Selena because she pushed what's-his-face out the window like in the first season.
She ripped out some guy's eyes in the first season too.
Yeah, she was.
She
well, that was like
out.
That was the second episode.
Yeah,
but no, she literally pushed Alfred's guy that was hired by the board of Wayne, and just like it's all weaved together.
Yeah. So, by the way, Wynn in the chat room says cats are smart like a fox. But so Catwoman's this person who flirts with people, who uses her sexuality as a weapon sometimes almost. So I'm wondering if when she comes back, is she going to have this pure sort of kid-like crush on Bruce that she has now that she's obviously been trying to hide, not very successfully around Yanni Bruce, or is she going to maybe only flirt with Bruce when they both arrive back in Gotham, but only towards a purpose? Like, is she going to use him using that Catwoman sort of flair? And let's see, and Low Wolfpack brings us up in the chat room, but I wanted to mention, I think most people who know anything about Batman caught this, but if you didn't happen to catch it, Selina's sudden fall is a reference to Catwoman's origin in Batman Returns and the horrible Halle Berry Catwoman movie.
I have never seen that, and I don't plan to.
You don't. She plays basketball. It's bad. But it's the same basic deal. She falls to her death, then gets revived by cats and becomes the Catwoman. So I can't wait to see how she changes after she wakes up from this. I feel like Gotham TV writers in general take a lot of cues from Batman Returns, which is good because it's one of the best Bat flicks.
It is.
But you were laughing at something in the chat room.
I was laughing. Okay, so Lone Wolf Pack asks, if she's old enough really to play sexy, and she is like 17, maybe 18 now, and she's a dancer. She's probably been doing a bit of the sexy since about age 12 as a dancer. That's just the way it goes, which is what and then Carolyn Wells points out that she was the dancer makes her more flexible or have more agility, and that would be where my guffaw came in.
That's fair. I would also say too that if she comes back and she sort of has that flirtatiousness kind of thing going on, I don't think she's going to be going after Harvey Bullock or Jim Gordon. I think it's going to be squarely aimed at people like Bruce Wayne and characters of that age, because there's a couple of them floating around. Maybe she'll seduce the Scarecrow. Maybe he'll show back up. That'd be nice, although he might be too old for it. I'll come to think of it, because that has been a few years. And he was older too. He was like 18 or 19, I think, the actor who played him. But okay, so we've talked about one side of that whole penthouse conversation. You want to talk about the other side, right?
Yanni Bruce. Okay. I have so many questions. Hold on. Let me think. Let my computer catch up with me. So how exactly was he created in Indian Hill? We still haven't gotten the details behind how the court actually made Yanni Bruce happen. Was he Bruce Wayne's twin? Did they somehow steal his DNA and clone him, a la that sheep thing that they do? Or how long have they been cultivating this Yanni Bruce? I need answers, people. I need Strange to come back and tell me what the heck is going on here. Now, we know that he was created to be a Bruce bot, and he has taken some aspects a little bit too far. Why, hello, Yanni. How are you? Just right there in my face. Let's see. He seems to have tapped into real Bruce's emotions a bit, which you can tell when he seems concerned for Alfred as well as Selena for when this weapon arrives. Oh my god, I can't look. These emotions and his death predicting bloody noses seem to be affecting his judgment, seeing as how he pushed Selena out the window to save the secret. Yanni is also concerned about dying before Bruce returns to take his place again. It feels like Yanni's dying sooner rather than later. So how long is Bruce's training going to last? He's like, they're coming more often. They're more serious with his different voice. I don't know if you caught the
very
slight,
slightly, yeah.
But it's just like slight enough to be, oh, that's so perfect. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah,
lots of concerns and questions.
They definitely lucked out with casting David as young Bruce Wayne, just because he's the who knew this kid would be able to pull off a split role like this? It's amazing.
Isn't it? And this, well, no, he
like
did
Bruce
some
and Yanni Bruce.
Yeah.
Like Bruce and Yanni Bruce. Like Bruce and Yanni Bruce.
You are not Bruce.
But,
I'm sorry, you were no Bruce Wayne, sir.
I could be if I had $1 million.
If you had $1 million,
I would buy a Batmobile. Okay, so speaking of Yanni Bruce, I wanted to talk a little bit about a classic DC Comics tropes. Trope that Yanni Bruce is sort of exposed here, and that is the trope of the degenerating clone.
Okay.
Now, as soon as I saw Yanni Bruce get a nosebleed, I got really, really excited. That means he's going to be an honest-to-goodness DC Comics clone. Now, the DC universe, especially in the late 80s, early 90s, was known for its imperfect clones, especially in the Superman books. Most of them were created by a dude named Dabney Donovan, who worked for Cadmus Labs, Project Cadmus. If you know Supergirl.
I know that now.
You're probably familiar with Cadmus, but Dabney Donovan worked for them doing a lot of cloney stuff. He created many clones and many kind of freaks of nature, things like that, including a lot of clones of himself, which was really weird.
That's awkward.
But they always ended up dissolving into this weird puddle of flesh and hair at the end. Like they just would eventually deteriorate and die. Two notable ones that I thought of off the top of my head were, one was Lex Luthor 2, which was a clone of Lex Luthor. Who had died from cancer because of his kryptonite ring. The kryptonite ring gave him cancer, and he died. But they saved Luthor's brain and installed it inside this clone, who was this young, hip, hot, sexy Aussie guy with flowing red locks.
Aussie, not Aussie.
I said Aussie.
You said Aussie, and all I could think was like Ozzy Osbourne biting the head off a bat.
He was Ozzy Osbourne. But he was this really hip, young, sexy Aussie guy. He also dated the Supergirl in the comics at the time. Of course. Because everyone thought he was a good guy because he was Lex Luthor's illegitimate son in Australia. But no, it was actually Lex's brain in a new case. But by Action Comics number 700, he was in a wheelchair and bald again because cloning was an imperfect process. And eventually he deteriorated.
Into the pile of hair and skin?
Yeah. Well, I think the way that shook out is they found a cure for him, like right at the end. So he just ended up being bald Lex Luthor again, if I remember correctly. But then another good example was Superboy, who was the kid who took over for Superman after he died at the hands of Doomsday. And he had the clone disease as well as a lot of his supporting cast who were also clones and DNA aliens and things like that.
The clone is in place.
But because he was a popular character, he got better really quick.
He got better.
But I don't think they're going to be bringing Dabney Donovan from Cadmus to Gotham. But it's good to know that even on Earth G, nobody in the DC universe knows how to make a good clone.
No.
They're all going to break down and die eventually. Carolyn says Strange could have gotten Bruce's DNA from Thomas. He was close to the Wayne family. And let's see.
That's very true. Yeah. And that sort of goes with if he was a twin, too.
Mm-hmm.
There could have been like, he may have been a twin in utero, but only one survived. And they saved the fetus and made it a kid thing.
There are several canon, and I know we've discussed these before, canon versions of the Batman story where there was a twin and it was all weird and mutated or had a mental disease or something like that.
Well, this one's dying by nosebleed.
Like most rich people do, they squirrel him away into
as
an
the
asylum.
Rich people do.
Yeah. So
says the non-rich people.
So they didn't have to be embarrassed by him. It's like what the Kennedys did with their son, Joe Kennedy.
Stop now.
Joe Kennedy.
Don't go
Jack's
political.
younger brother. But so that is definitely a possibility too. But he looks so much like Bruce that, plus the nosebleed and stuff. Like, yeah, he's a clone.
He's totally a clone.
Okay, so you want to talk a little bit about Babsy Tabsy.
Babsy Tabsies, the love triangle of Babs, Tabs, and Butch. Tabs loves both, and she will do her best to protect both of them, usually not to her own benefit. Butch loves Tabs and can only do so much right now, but his snark in this episode was my everything. Babs loves Babs. Enough said. Mm-hmm. This is where things are going to start to get sticky, and I can't wait to see Tabs snap on one or both of them.
Yeah.
I just needed to point out the fact that the three of them are crazy. They don't make any sense. I don't know who really loves who. I mean, this is as close as you get. Stop putting Yanni on the screen.
No, but I think this is definitely the episode where Tabs realized that Babs is more out for herself than just about anything else. But you know that's a great segue into my point, which is Barbara Queen control freak. Her name's Barbara Queen, right? They call her Barbara Queen now?
We're not playing this game again.
That's her new official name is Barbara Queen?
Yanni.
Yanni. Okay, so I think this episode exposed something about Barbara's character that I don't think I've really noticed before.
Really?
Namely what her main mental defect is. And so in the episode, when she freaks out on Tabs at the end of the episode, she says, as long as the cord is out there, I'll never be in control. She is very out of control when she says it, which got me to thinking. She's always been a character trying to regain control. Now, when she first leaked info from Jim to the press, I believe it was about the corruption in the department or
something, yeah.
Something in season 1. And it was the first time they kind of had a break of trust. She was trying to gain control of the situation because she didn't think Jim was going to take it. Now, then her whole affair with the ogre came and saw her lose control of herself and her actions. I mean, she killed her parents for Gordon's sake. And then in Arkham, she manipulated the other inmates to gain control, then joined Gallivan's crew because he had it and she wanted it. She wanted to be close to that control. And ever since then, you've seen her trying to take control. She's tried to take control of Jim's heart by putting him in this weird wedding situation with Lee, this ultimatum thing.
And then the thing with Valerie.
Yeah, she's constantly trying to exert control. I feel like she does that because...
she's clawing her way to the top, which is exactly what she said. She's trying to. She wants to be the center and the top of everything.
But I think it really goes back to the ogre though, because she had issues with control before that. But when the ogre,
made
her lose control, she regrets that loss of control. And if she can gain all the control, if she can control Gotham, then maybe she'll never kill her mommy and daddy kind of thing, even though she didn't like him that much.
That's true. Over in the chat room, Carolyn says, and technically we've never seen Barbara kill anyone. That is not true. I think even just a couple episodes ago, we saw her beat the crap out of somebody with like a tire. There was with the stiletto, but there were some others. And her parents would never let her have control over any part of it. That's very true.
Yeah, Carolyn in the chat room says her parents would never let her have control over any part of her life. That's very, very true.
Very, very true.
But so I don't know if we're ever going to see like an ending to Babs's story arc, but if we do, I'd imagine it will have something to do with her regaining control over her own life. And maybe even, abandoning the Barbara Queen, Stabby Babs persona and sort of coming back to a normal place. There might be redemption for Barbara Queen, or is it Keen or Queen? I can't remember. Yeah.
Welcome back, Mayor James. I love that they keep bringing this character back for such important but bit moments. It's like Gotham TV writers sit around going, we need a guy for this. Aubrey James is it. And then Richard Kind busts open the door with a cape. Okay, yes. Or not.
He ate so many Danishes, though. I hope he doesn't have diabetes.
So good. Heartburn was the problem. Heartburn, blood pressure.
I also love the Riddle pills. The Riddle pills were a lot of fun.
Yes, those were insane, though. They were a little scary. The line that ding dong, Aubrey James, I think I'm giving him the credit even though he didn't want it. He pointed it out, but it was bing bong from Inside Out, but they called him a ding dong. His character was Bing Bong. If you watch the first season, I said Bing Bong every time we talked about him.
Yeah, Richard Kind played Bing Bong in Inside Out, and then he plays Aubrey James on Gotham.
Which is just really funny because my kid went to bed reading the Bing Bong Little Golden Book. I was like, that's a thing.
Nice.
Anyway, so Bing Bong, Bing Bong.
Okay, so let's see here, Anne-Marie. It's time for the arbitrary scale where we rate the episode based on a random number and a random bunch of stuff that happened in the episode that I make up on the spot usually.
Wow.
Okay, so let's see. Okay,
wow.
I'm going to give this over to the chat room too, so feel free to weigh in.
Yes, please.
72 carnivorous cats hopped up on Riddle pills. How many carnivorous cats hopped up on Riddle pills do you give this episode?
58.
Why? And stretch it out.
I stretch it out. I think that it was a really good episode, but I don't think it was one of those, we need to bide our time between stuff. Excuse me. So it filled in some gaps. It filled, we got a little bit of progress on each story, but not a lot or anything big reveal amazing on any one. It was just one of those, we need to get from point A to point B. How do we do that? Okay, here's episode 17.
Yeah.
Have I stretched enough?
You have not stretched quite enough.
Well, gosh darn it. So 58, 5 plus 8 equals 13, 1 plus 3 is 4. I don't know. I'm literally stretching now.
Yeah, well, there definitely were a lot of carnivorous cats. So, sorry, I needed to get, because...
Did we get another voicemail?
No, we just have something to take care of in just a minute. As for me, and we're still waiting for people in the chat room.
Come on, chat room.
But I'm going to give it 54 carnivorous cats hopped up on riddle pills.
54? Wow, even lower than me.
Well, they're hopped up on riddle pills, and I gave them a little LSD too, so it's gonna get real weird real quick. But no, I like you said, I thought it was a really good episode. Like, it was a really compelling throughout.
Yeah.
But by the same token, when it came time to
rewatch it, you just go
to rewatch it and write notes for the episode, it was like.
What happened?
I can say what happened. I mean, luckily I found some good things to pull out.
Yes.
Especially my favorite point of mine was the Barbara Keene/Queen point, which that point I give 72 carnivorous cats hopped up on riddle pills.
Of course.
But it's mine. So over in the chat room, let's see here. Talking to Win gives it 63 carnivorous cats hopped up on riddle pills.
I enjoy the letters.
Lone Wolf Pack gives it 60 carnivorous cats hopped up on riddle pills and 1 blue pill. And then JG Love 68 gives it 72 carnivorous cats hopped up on or not 72, sorry, 60. And then Carolyn gives it 64 carnivorous cats hopped up on riddle pills. You want to read the justification?
Sure.
Because I'm almost out of breath.
Several characters got to be more campy, more flamboyant, and show more flair, which is what makes Gotham characters stand out. They are very exaggerated, and they love every single minute of it. And that can rub off on the audience, making the experience more enjoyable.
Yeah, and definitely, as I mentioned at the beginning of the episode, I was really glad to see the theatricality come back into the villains a little bit with the Riddler.
Yeah,
because that's something that people are a little uneven on. Fish Mooney, a lot of people outright hate her,
which is just wrong.
But that's one thing I always liked about her. She always had this kind of quartered out performance. Like she was interacting with the characters she was interacting with, but she was also sort of interacting with the audience too, and you definitely saw that in Ed's performance in this week's episode.
Oh, very much so.
Okay, well, I guess that about wraps it up. So now on to the news.
News.
First up, the ratings. Let's see, Gotham and Lucifer, which who cares about Lucifer, both got a 0.9, and we're down a 10th.
But
that can always get adjusted up too.
It can get adjusted up, but it's average right now. Like, Mondays are very rough nights in general, and most things are just sort of.
Which, by the way, the as Jason Wiley pointed out over on our Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/Legends of Gotham. Yeah, upfronts are next week, so we will know Gotham's fate next week. But I don't really.
I'm not scared.
Yeah, we haven't put a lot of energy into the hashtag Renew Gotham campaign, but that's
because it doesn't make much.
We think it's pretty safe because it's one of the most popular shows on the Fox network. So I don't see
it's in their top 10 shows.
Yeah, I don't see them cutting it, especially less than a season away from getting syndication.
Yeah, that's hitting that 100 is still always a very important thing for shows.
But let's see. We're gonna go ahead and take a quick look at the preview for next week's episode, which is called. Let's see here. I don't even know. It is called Complete Power, I believe, or at least that's what the video is called on Gotham's YouTube channel. This is what I was stalling for. Because you didn't have the link in here. But let's see. We'll take a quick look at it. Jim's in a car. Catherine's in a window. Cars are on a bridge. Bruce is in a thing.
And he's in a dream sequence again.
Yeah, he's in another dream sequence. I still think he's always been in a dream sequence.
I think so, too.
Hugo Strange.
Was that really him?
Yeah, Catherine. Barnes is busting out. Fireflies catching stuff on fire. There's some purple smoke. Bruce is facing off against Ninja Guy.
Fight.
It's going to be a good time. Good time. Absolute power.
Nice.
Yeah, it'll be good. So definitely check that out next week. By the way, I forgot to. I thought about this literally 10 minutes after we wrapped the show last week.
Yeah.
My theory for who's in that crate on the pier.
Yeah.
The
You
one
didn't
that's
share that.
I think it's going to be Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah.
That's who I think's in the crate. Who's going to bring or cleanse Gotham?
Well, we know we're getting.
Yeah.
Okay, and we're just still talking. What are we cleansing it from?
I don't know. It's a pretty grimy city. It's gritty.
It's the thing is, I don't understand, like, because they took Ed under their wing for now. They have Bruce, they have Gordon, like they have the main players. Like, we know that they're not wiping out Penguin.
Well, I think it's a situation where there's all these players that they don't have control of, like Penguin and
Babs.
all the villains.
Do you think they're gonna cleanse Babs?
They might?
I really don't want. I love Babs, guys.
Yeah, I love Barbara Queen. I mean, Kean. Carolyn in the chat room says more action. Carolyn in the chat room says more action, more violence, more emotional exhaustion.
Yay, Gotham!
And then Lone Wolf Pack says, didn't Jerome's rampage start the whole cleansing from the court? That is very true. Yeah. I think it was when he plunged the city into darkness. I think that's when that came up.
Okay.
Maybe.
See, that makes sense because they were insane.
Yeah, but when you get done watching the episode next week, after you gain ultimate absolute power, whatever the episode was called, what we need you to do is need you to let us know what you thought about the episode. You can do that in a few ways. You can email us legendsofgotham@gmail.com. You can tweet us at Legends of Gotham. You can Facebook us at facebook.com/groups/Legends of Gotham. And you can call us the all new Firefly did.
Call me maybe.
At 424-274-2352. Again, that's 424-274-2352. And as usual, actually, we don't have Bobby
it's
this
not
week.
as usual. Bobby fail.
But we did hear from someone we haven't heard from in quite a while, and that's Carlos. So take it away, Carlos.
Hi, Bill and Marie. This is Carlos. I know it's been a very long time since I called, but I just wanted to say that you guys can continue. I really miss you guys, and I'm really glad that you keep on been doing these reviews and commentaries on the show Gotham. I really have been enjoying so far what the show has done, and a lot of props to Ben McKenzie last week. I think he did a great job directing that episode, and this week was just as good and was really good. I really enjoy the dynamic between Penguin and Ivy. I just think their chemistry just mixes so well together, and I hope to see more of that in the future as well.
Pengy Plants.
As the inclusion of Mr. Freeze and Firefly. Also, I really like the direction of what. Pardon me. I'm sorry. I'm starting a bit. I really like the direction that they're taking with Gordon. I find it very fascinating that he's going to lead the court. It's not something that we normally see him do, but I'm really excited to see where they take that route. And the main highlight for me with this episode was, of course, pretty much the birth of Selena Kyle, aka Catwoman, Tim Burton style. I am so happy. I'm very happy with that scene, and I can't wait to see where they're going to take that later on in the future. And regarding Barbara, it's very interesting the path they're taking it. They're taking her character. I think you know what I mean by that, but I'm just going to keep it to myself just in case. But anyway, overall, I thought it was a really great episode. I hope you guys take care, and I hope to see you again next week. Take care, guys.
Thank you very much, Carlos. Let's see. Over in the chat room, JG Love 68 says, I liked when Oswald wanted to sweeten the deal for Firefly by killing
her boss, not kissing.
That's
whole different thing.
But he says, that's so pangy. Very,
That's
very
so
true.
pangy.
Okay, you want to read this letter here from Sith Youth Pastor?
Sure. Hey, everyone. I am continuing to enjoy the show, and I thought I would leave some thoughts I had about tonight's episode. Nigma in this episode was a pure genius and a delight to watch. Especially enjoyed his Shakespeare performance. I wonder if the tickets for his performance are sold out like Hamilton's. Did anyone else notice how much Hugo Strange had been mentioned in this episode? Could be hinting at a return soon.
He's coming back.
Oh, wait, he's coming back. Welcome back, Mr. French Fries, LOL. I still think Alfred knows that something is up with Bruce, too. Yanni. He Scrawny Yanni. He knew that the original Bruce for far too long to not catch that something is amiss. The only negative I could sense in this episode was that the court was too trusting. For a secret organization, they sure did choose to trust James very quickly.
Well, to be fair, he is related to two former
members, that they had killed. Let's see. He told them he killed his uncle and then delivered Nigma to them. I feel like there should have been something more in order for him to prove himself. That's true. He should have, killed someone. Anyways, I give this episode 70 out of 77 premium cat food tins. Talk to y'all soon, Sith Youth Pastor.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And let's see. Over in the chat room, Carolyn says, and how many times did the word Two-Face pop up? Yeah,
it was a few times.
When it was in that riddle, I was like, oh, it's going to be Harvey Dent is who they're talking
wow,
about.
it'd be nice to get that actor back.
No, not going to happen. He's on NBC.
Nope.
Okay, next up is, I've never heard of this person before. We'll see what happens. Kip.
Hi, everybody. This is Skip. First-time caller, long-time listener. Hi. I just wanted to bring in on this episode of Gotham. Oh, it was so good. Ed getting in over his head, taking on the court.
Is this Huell Hauser?
I hope he knows what he's doing. Who knows what they have in store for him. But really, what I want to talk to you guys about is I hear you guys are leaving. I'm so sad. Bill and Marie, I love you guys. This is really sad. I'm being serious. But, it's okay. Let's enjoy the time that we still have together. It's going to be great, right? A few more episodes, let's do it. But anyway, getting back to the episode, Penguin getting together, his family of freaks. Oh, it's such a beautiful thing. See all these guys together. Oh, awesome. Anyway, who knows what's going to happen with Bruce? Evil Bruce being all weird.
Yanni!
Cleaning out windows. Cats coming around, looking at her face. Telling her,
I'll just say that if you don't call him Yanni Bruce, then you don't really love us.
it's going to be all right, sweetie. Everything's going to be okay. We've got you. Just 8 more lives. Live them up, bitch. But anyway, you guys should really think about, when season 4 comes around, you guys should probably, think about doing it. Seriously. That's 22 episodes a year? You would get the summer off, and the winter off, and the spring off, It's like being a private school teacher, but, you're not getting paid. That's not so cool, but
no.
Still, good times, right? Anyway.
I will say that for season 4, I'm thinking about doing something short form to review Gotham, so you might get your wish there.
You might get a mini wish.
I just had to call because my friend told me to call you, Big J. It's cool,
Big J!
Big J! That's how we do. That's
Big
where
J.
This guy, Kip.
It's a little rough around the edges. I know. But if you get to know him, he's got a heart of gold. I'm telling you. He probably took that heart from somebody and dipped it in a batter of gold and stuff. I don't know. Man, I'm being serious. That's kind of creepy. Anyway, I really love you, Bill, Emery. I want to talk to you guys later. Okay. Have a good night. Bye.
That was fantastic.
Amazing.
Kip,
fantastic.
Where have you been for the past 3 seasons?
Yeah, that was fantastic. I hope we get a message from Kip or Big J every episode until we're out here.
Yes, there's only 5 more you can do
the
it.
Sentiments too. But you know what? We're running a little long, so I think we're gonna cap it there. Sorry for everyone else who sent in some feedback, but I think
wait it cut a little. We're late.
The Firefly, Gotham cast members, Trump's people sometimes. Sorry about that, but. Next week, we probably won't have any Gotham cast members call in, so you can feel free to email us legendsofgotham@gmail.com, tweet us at Legends of Gotham, Facebook is facebook.com/groups/Legends of Gotham, and the voicemail number is 555-1212.
What?
Just kidding. It's 424-274-2352. Again, that's 424-274-2352. Give us a call as soon as you're done with the episode next week, or we're going to give Kip your number.
Oh. We're going to give Kip your number.
All right. We want to thank all of our members in the chat room over at twitch.tv/universebox. Again, as always, you can join us there 8:30 p.m. EST Tuesday nights. The night after Gotham.
Yep.
It's going to be awesome. Okay, Anne-Marie, where can people find you online?
You can find me on Twitter at DeSimone.
As for me, you can follow me on Twitter at Bill Meeks. You can follow all of the stuff we do over at universebox.com. And shut up. Join us next time for more
Legends of Gotham.
Legends of Gotham. Legends of Gotham. Yanni.
I've been a little yawny today.
Here, we'll put Yanni over you so no one sees you.
While I'm yawning, I'm trying to cover.
Hold on, wait a second.
Yanni! scene.
Okay, real quick over here in the chat room, we're going to have to vote on some episode titles here. Oh, and there comes our theme music in. Sorry about that.
Every time.
All right, so let's see here. We have, and I'll throw it up here on the screen too. We have Assemble the Freaks, Riddle Pills, Ding Dong, Selena's Crush, Shut Up Jim, the all-new Firefly, Tabby the Tire, and Scrawny Yanni.
Riddle Pills.
Riddle Pills, one for Riddle Pills.
Riddle Pills.
Riddle Pills, and please vote in the chat room too.
Please, chat room, vote.
Okay, as for me, I think I am going to vote for...
Shut up, Jim.
Just because I'm pleased this punch that she called, and I'm going to vote for the all-new Firefly.
Yeah.
Even though we didn't talk about her that much.
Not that much.
But let's see here. I also kind of like...
You know,
Scrawny
we're really
Yanni,
good
too.
at getting actors their first week.
Yeah. Definitely.
Why didn't we get Robin Lord Taylor his first episode?
He was too busy running around Times Square with a bunch of other people dressed as penguins.
Yeah, he really
okay,
was.
so then we have one for Assemble the... We have 4 votes.
We have
for
a 4-way
different-
tie.
A 4-way tie right now. Come on, somebody be
Where's
the
Kip when
tiebreaker.
you need him?
Where is Kip when you need him? Probably hanging out with Big J. Good old Big J.
Good old Big J.
Everybody likes Big
wow,
J.
This is like a hardcore cheerleader ponytail today.
All right, so... Okay, how to do this? Okay.
Eensy, meensy, mincy, mosey.
If no one breaks the tie in the next couple seconds, I'm going to use this random number generator. How many options do we have here?
4.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
No,
8.
don't pick what. Pick
Okay,
out the 4 that we...
so you had Riddle Pills.
Riddle Pills. We said it like 17 times.
Then I had All New Firefly. Then Assemble the Freaks and Shut Up Jim.
Yep.
So
Shut up, Jim.
okay, so we're going to run the random number generator at random.org, and the result was 4. So that would be...
Shut up, Jim.
Shut Up Jim.
Shut up, Jim is the winner.
Shut Up Jim is the winner. Thank you very much, you guys. And thank you, Carolyn, for picking the winner.
Yes. Thank you, new people in the chat room. It's always fun to
And
have a fresh
random.org.
voice.
Okay, but we're going to head out of here, guys. We'll see you next week. Love you.
Bye.